I am inspired by the plants. I'm inspired by the way they look in dappled sunlight, the way that they look in partial shade, in, different areas in my home. And that's what really inspires me to take the photos of them. I'll wake up and I'll catch a moment of a plant in just its natural surrounding and just a moment of it. And that will inspire me to take a photo of it. I've been sharing plant content on Instagram for a number of years now, but it was only at the beginning of the coronavirus lockdown that I really started to focus on full time plant content. And that was really just because the content that I would love to share before was very lifestyle. It was a mix of things, food and fashion and my home. But not being able to go out to enjoy any of those experiences where I would take the content that I like to share. Really, I was left with my home and my plants, and that was really what spearheaded that shift to exclusive plant content on my Instagram. They've brought me so much joy personally. It's been a really great way to, take a break from everything that's going on in the world and focus on something that, uplifts my spirits, that brings me a lot of joy. Taking care of a plant and nurturing it and watching it grow and thrive is such an amazing feeling. And being able to surround yourself with, greenery that's lush and tropical, it's a great way of uplifting, your spirit, especially living in a concrete jungle in downtown Toronto. It's amazing to bring that, nature that you would find outside inside at home and seeing how that affects you personally. I got into plants about 10 years ago when I moved out of my parents' home into my very first apartment. I was walking past a local plant shop and decided to go in, and one plant turned into 10, turned into 20, and over the years, it's just the collection has grown. So currently I have about 150 plants growing in my very small 500 square foot condo. I would love to see that number go down a little bit. I've been trying to cull the collection a little bit, giving plants to friends, but somehow the number just seems to continue to go up instead of down as much as I try. Currently, my favorite plant is my Calathea orbifolia. It was one of the very first wish list plants that I was able to acquire. I saw it on Instagram years ago and always really wanted one. They're just really beautiful. And it was about 4 years ago that I happened to be able to get one for myself. And in the time that I've had it, it's grown tremendously and it's still absolutely one of my favorites. I keep them all in white pots, and that's just, an aesthetic preference of mine. It just helps to keep the attention on the actual plant, on the foliage, on the growth structure, and it just creates a cleaner aesthetic for me. It's visually just more appealing. It's always been important for me to create a space where I feel comfortable and I feel safe and I feel, at peace. Yeah, I think, during the pandemic, we all have learned to appreciate more things, small things in our lives that bring us joy. And although I loved my plants before and I always loved caring for them, of course, I've grown, more attached to them and, I appreciate them more because, it is something that brings me a lot of joy. And, I think we've all had become very much aware of the things in our life that we are appreciative of and showing more appreciation for those things.